Hello everybody. Once again, this is not going to be a very edited video, not a very scripted type of guide. Those will be coming back next week, but I have 3 exams next week, so I hope you guys enjoy a little bit of high ladder OU. So I'm at 1880 ELO right now. I'm going to be trying out this Blaziken balance here. I guess you could call it maybe a bulky offense, kind of hard to say. So yeah, we've got Blaziken, Scarf Rye, Fizz Def Glow King, nice AV treads, just a pretty standard Lando here, and an Ogre Pawn. So we're gonna just give this a try and see how it does. It's a fun team. I haven't tested it much, but I definitely think it has potential. Got some strong matchups, and I love using Blaziken. And as always, team will be linked in the description. So what I'm going to try to do, because I know I stream, so to make this a little different than the stream content, what I'm going to be doing here, instead of the focus being on the team, the focus is going to be on the battling. So I'm going to try to show you guys, once again, the mindset that I have, and I'm going to try to explain my thoughts and think this through well. Alright, so Jeff, let's see. So unfortunately, I do not have player off my Ogre Pawn, which you hate to see when you run into Hydrapple, because it basically means your Ogre Pawn is useless. My opponent's Ogre Pawn in the end is very, very good, so we don't like that. That being said, I do like the look of Darkrai with Trick is probably going to be great against the Tinglu. Lando is nice here. Glow King is nice. Probably Blaziken is the win condition. Yeah, let's start off with Rye, though. I think that's a good initiation here. And we can Wisp, because that's going to, if we hit this, we're in really good shape. Great, okay. So, yeah, that's an ideal situation. Go into Glow King here very easily. We're Fizz Def, so that's not going to do much. And okay, so we do see the Tinglu come in. So unfortunately, I do not have Toxic on this. I would have gone for it if I did. We're just going to Chilly Reception here. We are totally fine. Eating an Earthquake, we really don't mind. And honestly, let's just go into Landorus here, and I think let's go for a U-turn, because I'm expecting... Yeah, I was expecting, so I didn't think Hydrapple would be the switch. We can go into Rye here, and I'm actually going to Trick. So I'm thinking Fearing the Ice Beam, this should switch, and I'm hoping the Tinglu comes in. Beautiful. So we're going to get some very nice leftovers. We're going to give this Lu a Choice Scarf, and we're going to, of course, go for the Will-O-Wisp here. And we miss, but it's time to Ice Beam. If this Hydrapple wants to Terra, I think that's worthwhile. Giving up your Terra this early, just to avoid a Darkrai. Yeah, and we just get the kill. So our Ogre Pawn is in big business now. A lot of players will flip out about this Terra situation. They'll be like, "Oh my God, I have to." All right, let's calc this against Slowking. But they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I have to, I have to go for some read to catch this Terra." It's like, actually, what am I even talking about? I'm being terrible right now. It already Terra'd, so I don't know. I have actually no idea what my opponent was doing there, leaving Hydrapple in. I guess just wishful thinking. But anyway, that's honestly fine. That's not too much of a concern. We still always live here, with the exception being a critical hit, of course, which can always happen, but we don't get critical hit. Let's check Blaziken here and see if it can kill after 2 more burned, after another round of burn, and a CC is doing it. So we're going to go into Blaziken, going to go for Protect, and then we'll be able to get a guaranteed CC kill. Great, and now we just close combat. And unless it was bulky, that always killed, so we get it. This feels like no real reason not to go treads on this. I mean, I've got an AV treads, let's use it, right? Let's knock off. I don't see the Tinglu coming in here. Yeah, it would have been a crazy read, but okay, so it's booster attack Tusk. That is interesting and a little bit scary, to be honest. That is a little scary. Let's go hard into Landorus. Because the only way I lose this game at this point is bulk up Tusk. So that's another kind of good thing to know, guys. When you're in a position where you're having a really strong game, ask yourself, how could I lose? What is the one way this possibly goes downhill? And in this case, the one way this game possibly goes downhill is if I let this Tusk start bulking up. And obviously I did not let that happen, so we're fine. But when you have an advantage like I had in this game, That's all you really have to ask yourself. How could I possibly lose? In this case, Tusk ended up not being much of a problem at all. I don't think it's possible to throw the game. I don't think I could possibly lose here. Let's go into Darkrai just to start, I guess. We'll go for just Dark Pulse here. It just occurred to me this Darkrai shouldn't probably be Terra Dark. That doesn't feel very useful. We'll go with Ghost. That is much better on these sets. And we got a flinch, but like it didn't matter. At this stage, like it's so over. We'll go for a Will-O-Wisp here. It doesn't matter. There's really nothing my opponent can do that could change the outcome at this point. So we're just going to Ice Beam. Nice little crit. We can go for a Dark Pulse here, try to flinch, save ourselves a little bit of health. Probably won't happen, but we'll see. Yeah, no, but that's totally fine. Go into this, we'll Dark Pulse. Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz. Okay, that was a fun one. Pretty quick. Nice quick win there. GG. Alright, and then we'll go for another one. And the reason I'm doing this thing where I'm increasing the screen size in between games is so you guys can see the calcs. Because Calc Dex does automatically appear in the battle if your browser or if your battle window is enlarged to the point that it can't pop up on the side. So just so you guys can see the calcs. Yeah, so I did have a bit of an absent-minded moment that game where I forgot the Ogerpon already terra'd. It was easy to forget because normally when an Ogerpon terras, it's like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. But there, it got absolutely smoked. But yeah, honestly, that turn one was devastating for my opponent. There was no great way to come back from that one. I'm not saying it was impossible. It was definitely possible, but extremely difficult, without a doubt. It was not an easy comeback to make. And definitely what my opponent was doing was going for a bunch of what I call desperate plays. To try to make a comeback, my opponent was hoping I just made awful choices and threw away good Pokemon, and I didn't. So when you notice your opponent playing desperate, just keep making safe plays and they'll just destroy themselves. Now if you notice your opponent calling out your safe plays as you're ahead in a game, then it's maybe time to shake it up a little bit, play a little more risky. But there, my opponent just kept digging a deeper and deeper hole for themselves. Okay, interesting. Now this is a sample team that I'm familiar with. It's a very nice sample team. I'm a fan of it. I really do like Scarf Rye in this matchup. I think I'm just going to lead with Rye because it has just such a good chance of catching stuff here. And it says no way I'm fighting a goat. So that's nice. We got a fan. Or at least somebody who knows me. Given I'm being referred to as the goat, I'm guessing it's a fan. We'll say thanks. 16. Oh, okay, 1640. This is a bit lower elo. I guess that makes sense. We were searching for a little while. But guys, this is still a scary elo. This is still a scary elo. You definitely can't be slacking. Yeah, ladder is a bit deflated right now, so 1700s players can actually be pretty solid, or they can also be kind of what 1600s, 1700s normally is, which is a little bit inconsistent, sometimes hard to get a good read on, which makes this pretty scary. That is exactly what I wanted to see. We are just going to click Dark Pulse. Probably the Pult dies because Darkrai with Scarf is rare. Maybe we see the Scout go into Garg or Atrot. Ideally, we just get the kill, obviously, but no real downside to clicking Dark Pulse here. Just a generally good play. And if the Atrot, and as we're clicking this, we can kind of plan out the next turns, which I often like to do. Atrot here, if that comes in on the Dark Pulse, we go Lando, because we can Intimidate, we can U-turn, and okay, we get the kill, great. So probably Atrot's going to come in here, and I think I will just do the same thing as I was planning before and go into Landorus. The other great thing is that, because that's dead, the Pult is dead, that opened up Blaziken big time. Blaziken is not super encumbered by Dragapult. Like it can 2 SDs and you one shot with Flare Blitz. Yeah, and doesn't die to a dart, so you can get up to SDs, but it's not fun to have around. And because Palt is just very hard to get damage on, because I believe it is boots on this team, that is a factor to consider as well. Yeah, but no real reason not to just go into Landorus here. The Ceaseless Edge is surely coming out. I can't imagine anything else. Sure enough, there we go. We get a little bit of Helmet Chip. I think this was Boots on this team, but it might be Assault Vest. Can't remember exactly. We're at a U-turn here. Okay, we see the Tusk. Was that yeah, so this is an offensive Helmet Tusk, which is fine. So, you know what? Actually, now that the Palt is gone. Okay, I kind of have an idea here. I think I'm going to SD, and then we're just going to Terra Water Cudgel on the Zapdos. Yeah, because that will kill Max Defense Zapdos. Which I know this is. And if the Zapdos Terra Grasses, then my Blaziken kind of wins. So I feel like I'm sort of in a good trap position where my opponent doesn't really have a way out of this. Yeah, the early Terra here I think is the right option, because that Iron Crown cannot kill me. So this is just looking super strong into my opponent. I think the Garg on this team, it's either Water or Fairy, I cannot recall which. Either way, I think it dies to a Power Whip. Well, let's check. We can check in the meantime. You've got information on your opponent's team. I mean, why not take a look? Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. Wait, this is it. Looks like Water Garg. Okay. So that means we are clicking Power Whip. Yeah, so it says, yeah, Palt being dead is a problem. I thought about scouting for Scarf. I should have. Yeah, but at the same time, like, what if you scouted for Scarf and I click Nasty Plot? That's why we need to ban Darkrai. I'm a big fan of the Darkrai ban. Anyway, we go Power Whip here. If we miss, that would obviously suck, but this is Terra Water, and I doubt, based on the confidence that this player is playing with, I doubt they're changing sets and adjusting things. So we just go for Power Whip here. Yeah, and it does Terra Water, we hit the Power Whip, so that should be good game. I think Samurott actually dies to an Ivy Cudgel. It does. That's so crazy, man. That is so crazy. Let's close out the OU room. Yeah, like, this thing is actually about to die to an Ivy Cudgel. Isn't that wild? Let's check. We can check max HP. I think I click Ivy Cudgel either way. Yeah, Ivy Cudgel is guaranteed kill on max HP H-Raw here. Crazy times we live in. Yes. Ban it, for sure. I'm absolutely in favor of an Ogerpon ban. I don't think this Pokemon is balanced, really, in the slightest. With knockoff, play rough, U-turn, SD, Encore, there is no answer. It is a menace for balance. Balance did get a nice recent break with the ban of Kyurem, but we're not there yet. I mean, there are still definitely things that should be done. Go ahead and Treads here, block the Volt, and go for Earthquake. Just get some damage off, go for another Earthquake. Probably we die here. Yeah, we get headlonged. Makes sense. And now we just go into Darkrai and wrap this game up with Dark Pulse. I actually don't think that'll kill Crown. Crown is a bulky. Yeah, it's not even close to killing Crown. Oh, no. That's a Assault Vest set. This is Specs. So we'll probably have to finish this game up with Blaziken. But that's fine. Or maybe we just get a flinch here. Let's see. Yeah, we just get a flinch. And that's another reason I want Darkrai banned. That can just happen. Like, sometimes you'll have an answer, and then Darkrai will just be like, hey, what if I 20% it on you? And then it's gone. Yeah, once again, so that was a pretty clear-cut game. Honestly, once again, sort of over turn one. We've had two of these games that have been very strong. But you see there, you can't give your opponent breathing room. When you have an opportunity to go for that early Terra, because really the game-winning play was that Ogerpon early Terra. When you have an opportunity like that, go for it. A lot of people will preserve Terra to a fault. What I like to say is, you know, bad players use Terra the first time it's good. Mid-level or mid and higher level players use preserve Terra, and top level players know when to early Terra. That's kind of the, so just be careful about that, because sometimes, and I make this mistake too, I'll preserve Terra because that's normally the right option, and I'll preserve it until I realize it's not that even helpful anymore, and I could have used it to much greater effect earlier. So Ogerpon does look pretty cool here. Treads kind of looks cool, but I definitely do need to knock the Molt first, and I don't really have a great way of keeping hazards up, so maybe Treads doesn't look that cool. I'm tempted to just lead Rye again. Oh, nice. I'm glad Ladder is watching my videos. It's nice. I'm just going to Ice Beam, honestly. Maybe we freeze? No? Okay, can't really complain about that. Let's go into Slowking. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, let's go into Slowking. Of course, the game that Garg demolishes the team is the game I took it off. Fizdef, Future Sight Glowking, plus an Encore Ogre. No, Garg does not anywhere close to destroy this team. That is a fantasy. Anyway, that did kind of a lot, so I'm actually going to Chilly Reception out here. Gotta remember there are downsides to running a... there are downsides to running a Fizdef Glowking. It's not all great. Do I want to Trick? Giving the Moltres a Scarf is nice, but then I don't have anything for Pulp, really. Yeah, let's Trick. I think that is nice. Molt is probably not actually outspeeding me here. Yeah, that's good. Now we're in Rocks range. U-turn there is not terrible. Pulp comes in, that makes sense. I'm thinking this is a Glow King time. I'm sensing like a Dragon move or a U-turn. Okay, we see darts, and that's a very weak darts. We'd love to see that. We're going to go for an Ice Beam here. Hopefully onto the Gliscor. Very nice. We love to see that. Gliscor, Earthquake will kill me here, though. So let's go into Ogerpon so we don't die to that. Probably we're going to see a Protect. Okay, we see an Earthquake. Interesting. Let's SD. Okay, I'm actually kind of surprised to see that, but fair enough. Let's go into Slowking. I don't want to get... Okay, I did not see the U-turn coming there, honestly. I did not see it coming. Gambit comes out. Very easy Landorus here. No real reason not to go into it. I think I will U-turn. I did not see... I did not expect them all. I expected the Tusk to come in. Reason for that being, if I were to just click Rocks... Actually, I'm kind of wondering now if Blaziken could be cool. But if I were to just click Rocks there, I'd be in a really good spot. Tusk denied the Rocks, which is why I expected that would be coming out. But this is a pretty easy Glow King Chili. We always get the slow pivot, which is nice here. And, okay, the Moltres is going to go for a Roost, which is, yeah, that's a fair play. I think my best option here is Darkrai, and I think I go for a Will-O-Wisp here. Yeah, Gambit there made a lot of sense. Probably my opponent was hoping I wouldn't be this set, but I am. And I'm actually going to go for a Dark Pulse here to try to catch a switch. Burned Gambit doesn't really love staying in. Okay, so we see that. And this is, I'm just going to go into Landorus here. Let's just get this chipped, because that's going to make very few switch-ins in the future. And I'll go for Rocks here. As I said, I think it is a mistake that my opponent is going into Moltres. I don't think it's a good strategy. And I will U-turn here. Oh, wow, this is a slow Moltres. This is an absolute minimum speed Moltres. I was expecting the Moltres would U-turn out, and we would not have to deal with burn. So that is somewhat unfortunate, but honestly, Landorus being burned is not a huge deal at this stage. It was not doing a lot. I do like Glow King here. I think that is the move, and I'm happy to see Flamethrower. U-turn there would have been a little harder to deal with. And honestly, I think Blaziken... I think it's time for Blaziken to come out, and probably the best answer is double into Ogerpon. There's really no way Tusk doesn't come in. What? Why would you... And we get burned. That really sucks. Let's go into Blaziken here, though. I don't understand what my opponent was doing there at all. I have no idea, and I don't know why they're staying in here. But okay, we definitely take those. I will gladly double SD and sweep your entire team. I will gladly do that. Or actually, we can get up triple here. Triple SD, yeah. I am so cool with that with that option. I don't know why you would let me do that. I guess my opponent doesn't know I'm Terra Ground on Blaziken, but I think the Flamethrower into Blaziken was really weird as a play. Yeah, and we see the Sucker come out there. So yeah, so we've got all the speed. I don't see any need to predict here. I'm just going to Terra Ground, and we're going to close combat. And it looks like the Bolt was going for a 50-50 and guessed I would not attack outright, but little did the Bolt know I could kind of just avoid that altogether. Yeah, Tusk is going to come in here. I will protect, I think, to scout the Terra. Yeah, and we caught the Terra. This is why we love Blaziken. And Helmet, if it's Helmet, that's going to be a lot of chip. It's not Helmet. Okay, good. Yeah, so we do win here. GG. Okay, that's fun. That was a good one. Once again, so really strange plays. Flamethrowing onto the Blaziken is crazy, but once I found out that my opponent was not taking Blaziken seriously, I immediately took advantage of that. So I don't know why my opponent wasn't taking Blaziken seriously. I think they were counting way too much on Raging Bolt. Even if you don't know I'm Terra Ground, that's still a 50-50. I have absolutely no idea why my opponent was willing to just stay in and Flamethrower it and then go into King Gambit and just let me Swords Dance up. Always, 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 if I were in my opponent's situation, you should go hard into Great Tusk. But they didn't, so I figured they would not again, and it ended up working out. Although, yeah, that switch in Ogerpon Flamethrower burn turn, definitely a little unfortunate, but I think my opponent kind of threw by letting my Blaziken get this stacked. Should have been an immediate Tusk. Just absolutely should have been an immediate Tusk. Yeah, this team does have some weaknesses, but I'll probably work on ironing them out. Maybe we can, at one point, do a live stream. If you see, a lot of my decision-making in these games just comes down to what is my opponent's likely play? What do I think my opponent's most likely play is? And in that case, I identified the only likely play, really, as being switching into Great Tusk, because that's the only way you don't just get destroyed by Blaziken. But sometimes your opponent makes really unexpected plays, and you got to adapt. In that case, I'm guessing my opponent just was imagining something or seeing something that I was not. Perhaps the Bolt was like magnet, some kind of magnet set that could confidently kill Blaziken, or yeah, it's hard to say, honestly. It's hard to say. Maybe they thought after the Gambit chip it would be a safe kill with like a magnet bolt. Anyway, hey Jeff, and actually, this is Mikam. I rated this guy's team for a viewer submission video, so I remember this. This was, I think this is an SD Glide score. This team really struggles with Ogerpon, so I'm going to try to play that Ogerpon well and play that carefully. I believe the Darkrai is Specs, which is definitely threatening to me here, so I'll have to be very careful about that. I actually really like Treads here offensively. I think it's really effective. I think I'll lead with Ogerpon, and if the Darkrai lead happens, well, we'll see. Okay, so the Darkrai lead happens. So I could just go for the Ivy Cudgel here. I think a better choice is going into my... No, my own Darkrai doesn't really do the trick here, does it? Pun not intended, but I'll take it. So this is a Specs Rye. If I Terra Water, and then this thing... Killing it would be great, though. I'd say Terra Water's good as long as we don't get flinched here. This will turn will go well for me. So yeah, let's go for an Ivy Cudgel. Let's see. Sludge Bomb. Poison would be devastating as well. but we don't, and that's going to be a kill. And I'm going to reload this. I don't know why Showdown is absolutely chugging at the moment. My apologies. Okay, cool, we got that. So, yeah, that was a good turn. We killed the Darkrai, so that's like the fastest thing on the team, and we're in a really good spot now. Pex is just not strong enough, just not very effective against my team, and it's going to go for a Toxic there. This is a really good Future Sight opportunity. Fizz Def Glowking matches up extremely well into my opponent. This is a sub Latios. I believe it was, I can't recall if it was sub CM. I think maybe it was sub Aura Sphere, Luster Purge, Shadow Ball, I believe. Yeah, and the problem I have with semi-stall teams like this is stuff like this, Ogerpon. There are just some breakers in the tier that are so strong, it's difficult to run this type of semi-stall. I do think semi-stall is viable, I think it's workable, but I don't think this is the way to do it. Okay, interesting. I'll just go for my own rocks. Kind of okay with that. Let's double into Treads. Well, actually, that was a little risky. Earthquake here is a very valid play. Oh no, but I believe it's Facade. I believe we don't have to worry about that. I'll go for a knockoff here. I would imagine the Terra or the Switch is coming. And if Corv comes in, I would like to knock that helmet. And I expect Corv will come in here. Yeah, so we get the Corv knocked. That's really nice. Could potentially be good for Blaziken later in the game if that ends up panning out. And let's rapid spin here. I think having no hazards is beneficial to me. And U-turn, we definitely take that. This Latios here is going to... Will this die to a knockoff? Not quite, but I think taking this Latios out of commission is very much worth it. Yeah, I don't really mind. And yeah, my opponent realized that that was not a very good call, so they immediately back out of that situation. Let's go into Darkrai here. I could Trick. Would it be a little counterproductive, given what I just did? But I do like that here. We'll go for Trick. And we get the Pex. Hopefully this isn't Black Sludge. I honestly don't know. We get Leftovers. Great. So that is what we want to see. And I'd say here I like Treads because it covers the Toxic and it covers the double into my opponent's Treads. Well, it's a little risky because I kind of don't want to box with the Treads. But we can go into Landorus here and hopefully just catch the... Okay, so we get the spin there. I will Earthquake here. Okay, we see Latios come out. Leftovers, Luster Purge. This is not killing me with anything. So I'm just going to U-turn. Okay, and we do see the substitute come out. So the hand has been played. And I think that was well timed. I think that was well played by my opponent. But let's Dark Pulse here. Yeah, Aura Sphere will not kill. And let's think carefully about this. Just Dark Pulse again. We get Pex in. Fine. I think I'll Dark Pulse again here. I think the double into Latios is a very real possibility. And I don't expect Darkrai will die to anything. Okay, so we get Poison. That's kind of sad. But not really the end of the world. Pex staying in here is unlikely. Let's go for one more Dark Pulse. Yeah, firing off a Dark Pulse into Treads is fine. I do like the idea of Wisping here. Okay, that's fine too, honestly. Get in Slowking here for a nice Future Sight. I think making progress with Slowking is definitely a valid plan here. Go for an Ice Beam. Won't do a ton, but it'll do a little bit. Yeah, because this is a max special defensive Treads, so not as much as I was hoping, but that does mean... Well, first of all, it means that doesn't kill. Second of all, it means we can safely go into Ogre here. And let's Power Whip, because this will kill the packs. Actually, do I SD? That might be better. I think I like SD. Well, I do want to keep this in the health where it can live a Latios hit, so maybe that's a little reckless to SD. Yeah, let's just Power Whip. I think that's a little safer. The packs double. I don't think this is baneful, but you definitely don't switch something else in, so I'm going to go Slowking just to scout. Cool. And now we can Chili. Treads comes in, we bring this in, and Cudgel. Yeah, so that worked out fine. And definitely the Pex is, there's no way it's... oh, and we just get a critical hit, so no reads needed, we can just Ivy Cudgel. And even if a Baneful Bunker there, it wouldn't do anything, because for some reason they made this a non-contact move. And Gliscor is dying, super dying to this. I don't know what the plan is here. Couldn't imagine what the plan was there. The only thing that lives is Corviknight, so yeah, that should have been the play of the turn earlier, because now Blaziken is about to do Blaziken things. I'm going to go into Treads here, actually. Okay, so well played from my opponent there. Going to Chili. Alright, we'll go into Rye here and go for the Wisp. This is not a threatening core, by the way. My Glow-King can wall this forever. We can PP stall this easily. Really, it's just about minimizing opportunities for that Latios to enter. I think the best play, if I'm my opponent here and I'm trying to win this game, I'm going into Treads on this Wisp. I think letting Treads eat the Wisp is the right call, but we will preserve Darkrai so we can do this again. And we will be at enough health that we can do that, because assuming we hit the Wisp, I don't think that was the right move. I do not believe that was the right call. Yeah, I think we just... Do we Dark Pulse here? Yeah, we can Dark Pulse here, that's not a problem. And we get a lucky flinch too. So I think the play is actually... Let me check this here. I think the play is actually Slowking Future Sight. I think that's the safest way to do this. And then win with Blaziken. So I'm going to Chili here. Going to Landorus, and we're going to U-turn. And that plus Future Sight will break the substitute. Safely protect here. And now we can Blitz. Yeah, so really there, at that end game, there was just nothing that could be done. Really strong turn one again. Thanks. Yeah, we'll give him a U2. It's going pretty well. We'll go for one more and then we'll call it. Yeah, this team is having a strong performance. Definitely link will be in the description. As always, you guys know how it is. Gotta provide with the teams. I have been impressed with the performance. At the same time, I do think this team has been getting a lot of mileage out of the lack of people knowing that it's Scarfry. So something that may make the team a little more consistent is perhaps play rough on Ogerpon. Perhaps switching Ogerpon for a non-SD set. So something like, say, a U-turn set might be a little more reliable here. The SD has been nice. You could run SD U-turn, you could run SD play rough. Encore has been not really vital yet. I think Encore is definitely less important when you have like Scarf Trick Rye. And just a lot of strong Pokemon on the team that naturally deny setup. That being said, it's definitely warrants consideration to change the Ogerpon set. HF. So this is is this the same player we faced before? I honestly have no idea. I feel like it's not. Well, anyway, I'm gonna try the same thing here. Basically, yeah, I just don't see a reason not to lead with Rye. Looks really strong. Okay, we see a Tusk lead this time. Interesting. I'm just going to Wisp. Although Garg makes a ton of sense here. Trick is a possibility. I could see tricking here. Let's Wisp. Okay, we Wisp the Tusk, that's good. That's a great start. And Tusk is going to go for a very ineffective spin. I am happy as a clam to go Landorus on this. Even an Ice Spinner will be doing very little. And we can just go for Stealth Rock, yeah. Earthquake here, probably on the spin, and then we can just spam rocks until this Tusk dies, because with burn and helmet damage, yeah, you better believe I'm getting my rocks up here. Okay, just not effective. Yeah, and the Tusk goes down. As you can see, Ice Spin are doing almost nothing. And, okay, so it looks like this is not... What Pult is this, then? This might be Specs. We might be looking at a Specs Pult. Do I let Landorus die? That is a tough call. I like that it's not Specs Pult, because that means Blaziken can set up and potentially win. I don't want to go hard in treads, because I'm worried about the... Is Landorus worth keeping around at this stage? I honestly don't think it is. I think we Earthquake here and just let it go down. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fine. Shadow Ball is not the end of the world there. Probably treads and knockoff here is the option. That will kill Dragapult 75% of the time. The Shadow Ball will not do much, and knockoff is just really good, nice catch-all into pretty much everything else. And I think Aatrot will actually die from a knockoff into an Earthquake if it's a standard set, which is nice. So it looks like Pult's going to stay in. Hopefully we get the kill. We do indeed get the roll. Okay, this is a little interesting here. Do I want to spin? Or do I just Earthquake? I think I would like to spin. I don't want to have my remaining Pokemon dealing with double hazards. That sounds unpleasant. And I'm actually happy to see that Razor Shell. I like that we just got, you know, just normally, regularly killed there. So there are a few tempting options. Blaziken Protect here is appealing because this Zapdos is Thunder Wave, and Terra Ground would be really good against that. And I don't see my opponent really predicting that or preparing or being able to prepare for that in any way. Let's go into that. Let's do that. So we can go Blaziken here. We can Protect. Okay, I probably should have thought this through a little bit better. Now I kind of see the flaw in my plan because of the stay-in possibility. Let's CC. I think my opponent might make a desperate play here. Okay, Terra, honestly, that is fine because now we can just win with Ogre. Yeah, that's okay. That's not great. It's going to be a little bit of an interesting endgame, but I think that's very much manageable. And let's check that CC. Or did this thing take entry hazards? Pointed stones dug in. So probably we are looking at Assault Vest, which makes things a little bit more annoying. Because I'd like to keep Ogerpon healthy enough that it can always take a crown hit, is my concern, but I don't see that happening. So let's just go into Ogre and go for the Ivy Cudgel. Surely you sack Samurott here. Okay, and I'm happy to see we don't actually see anything come out. Or not anything, what am I saying? I mean, we don't see a... we don't see a Sucker Punch come out. That's what I was looking for. So this is a Choice Spec set. It cannot kill me with anything. I Chilly Reception very freely. And yeah, sure enough, Side Shock there makes sense. That's kind of what I thought was coming. This feels like a trick if I've ever seen one. Yep, we got the Garg. Beautiful. And I just Dark Pulse this here. Probably we can win this game with Darkrai. If we trick Zapdos, that would have been fine, but I definitely prefer... And the flinch there is nice. I can't deny that's very nice. Okay, we see Body Press come out, so that is a little interesting. I didn't see that coming. Do we go into Glow King here, or do we just keep Dark Pulsing? I think we just... Yeah, there's no real reason to go into Glow King, is there? Let's just Dark Pulse. Yeah, I think this is a guaranteed win here. So here's, well, I'll explain the sequence depending on what he goes into. I can start, let's say the Zapdos comes in here. We go into Slowking. Okay. Or let me think this through and make sure I'm not throwing here. Yeah, we definitely go into Slowking here. Iron Crown would have been a guaranteed. This is just like likely going to win. But yeah, what I'm hoping is we see the Tachyon Cutter come out here. We do? Okay, beautiful. So that's pretty much game. Because I can now go into this. And hold on, how much is a Terra Water Cudgel doing? Yeah, so this is dying to rock, so it can't stay in here or it's dead. So we just Terra Water here an Ivy Cudgel. Cool. So that means the crown is effectively gone. Yeah, there you go. And so this, okay, this will get a little tricky due to the fact that this is a Thunderwave Zapdos. But given how much damage I'm doing, that's actually not great. Okay, so we're going to Encore here. Hopefully we get this off. Okay, we do. And now this puts us in a really strong spot because we're able to SD. And because it was a slow Encore, okay, that's a little bit unfortunate, but we go for this nonetheless. And the Zapdos, unless we get double parad, we're still going to win here. And sure enough, it does not, so the Zapdos will drop. GG. Okay, that was fun. And let's check ladder here. We are number 12. Not bad. So, yeah, pretty strong team. Link will be in the description. Hope this was helpful to you guys. And as I said, we will be returning to the scripted, edited videos next week. Thank you for your patience and appreciate the support as always. I'll see you guys next time.